Okay, so just to refresh your memory about the breaking up method for doubling and halving, I'm going to show you a few examples and how to do it in your block book again. Now this is with hundreds as well. Okay, so the first step we always do is we break up and then we double and then we get our answer. Okay, that's, you didn't have to write those letters there, it's just there to help me remember. Okay, so break up 242, so that means 200 plus 40 plus 2. So I'm not changing anything yet, I'm just taking what I have and breaking it up. Now where I must double, I'm going to double each number by itself first and then I'll get my answer. Remember, double means you're doing that a number times 2. So it would be 200 plus 200. Then my answer would be 400. Double this number by itself. 40 plus 40, or 40 times 2 is 80. Okay, and then 2 plus 2 is 4. Now I'm going to add them all together. 400 plus 80 is 480 plus 4 is 484. There's my answer. Now to do another example, remember the first step is break up what you have. Right? Then double. Then get your answer. 600 plus 100 is 700 plus 2 is 702. So there's an example of, and to refresh your memory of how to do the breaking up method for doubling. Okay, now I'm going to show you some examples with halving. So using the same breaking up method, the first thing you do is you break it up. Then the second step, instead of doubling, we're going to halve now, and then we're going to get our answer. Like I said, you don't have to write those letters there, it's just to show you. Okay, so let's break 468 up. So it's 400 plus 60 plus 60 plus 8. Okay, now we're going to halve. So that means we're going to cut it in half. So half of 4 is 2, half of 400 is 200. Okay, half of 60, half of 6 is 3, so half of 60 is 30. Half of 8 is 4. Okay, you need to know those out your head to make it go quicker for you. It's halving and doubling, all of those things are on page 8 in your study guide, so refresh your memory. Okay, then we add it all together to get our answer, 234. Okay, now this next one's a little bit trickier. So let's break it up. Okay, now we're going to halve. Whenever you have to halve 100, where there's a sort of uneven number in the front, then go to the 100 that comes before, which is 200 plus 100. We break it up like that in our heads to get the answer, make it easier for ourselves. Okay, so what's half of 200 then? Well, we know half of 200 is 100, and half of 100 is 50. So if we put that together, half of 300 then is 150. Okay, same with the tens, except we don't go to the 100 before, we go to the 10 before because we're busy with tens. 40 plus 10 is 50. That's much easier to halve. What's half of 40? I know it's 20, and half of 10 is 5. So half of 50 is 25. Okay, now whenever we have a unit that's an uneven number, it always ends in a half. Okay, and the only reason I can do this little trick is because it's got an uneven number in the front. Okay, then I know that I can break it up into even numbers to help me. You don't need to do it here because these ones we knew quite easily out of our heads. It's when it's the uneven numbers that it's helpful to do this. Okay, so what's the number that comes before 7? It's 6 plus 1 makes 7. Okay, so what's half of 6? We know it's 3. We can split it evenly. And half of 1, if you have 1 cupcake and you cut it in half, it's half. So half of 1 is half. And we write half like that. Right, there we go. Now we have to add them together. So 150 plus 25, that's 175, plus 3 is 178. And then all we do with that half is we add it on the end. So 178 and a half. So there was a nice easy example and one that's a little bit more difficult. So I hope that will help you to do your best.